So I recently put out a post on X, and it was this one where I said people really have no idea what's about to hit this market. All I can say is higher, much higher. Now, a lot of people thought that I was engagement farming, and they even said that I have zero sources or any information on why we should be trading much higher. But the thing is that we have almost every single ounce of information in front of us that's telling us that we should be trading significantly higher than what we are right now. Just for reference, I had to put out another post, and I said, people asking me under this post if I have any proof to back my claims, they must not have been paying attention for the past few months. Let me refresh their memories. The M2 supply is surging to new all-time highs. The trade war is calming down with major deals. Money market funds at historical levels of $7+ trillion on the sidelines. Crypto adoption soaring from institutional players. Bitcoin dominance nearing macro resistance highs. Google Trends telling us retail interest is at all-time lows, while Bitcoin and stocks are inches away from new all-time highs. Crypto regulations accelerating August 1st deadline. Stablecoin and tokenization growth going vertical. Altcoin ETFs expected this year as well, with alt season being the major indicator behind those ETFs as well. I could continue to name many additional reasons why we will be going much higher, but the easiest answer is that people don't see why or how we could be trading higher. You are simply not bullish enough. And yeah, what's crazy about this is like everyone is questioning if we are going to be trading higher when Bitcoin is at, 107.4K. The market cap for crypto is at 3.29 trillion, while the fear and greed is at neutral and almost nobody even cares about crypto. Last time I checked, since going back to about roughly December and January of this year, almost nobody cares about crypto since, because we have been going sideways for 5 months now. So everyone has kind of lost their interest in crypto. They, no longer are riding the hype train. So now all of a sudden crypto is, bad. And forget about crypto. It's not going to do anything. We're probably just going to crash from here and go into a bear market. Even though Bitcoin dominance is still at macro resistance highs. This is why I've always said in the past that most of retail will miss the biggest part of these cycles. They get shaken out right before the finish line. And it's sad, but it's the truth. This is also why I've said in the past, don't ever let anyone tell you that you got lucky, because it's not luck. This space is not easy to make money in because there's a lot of time capitulation, price capitulation, volatility, manipulation, liquidations happen all the time. This is not an easy market to trade. But that's exactly why we are here as well, for the volatility, for the major swings. I mean, at the end of the day, I do believe that almost all of these prices in this market are going to look significantly different in just 30 days from now. Give it a month. When it comes to XRP, it's so funny because XRP has been doing this for the last couple, weeks and months. We've just been going in a downtrend sideways. Now we're starting to create possibly a macro higher low here going off of the April lows. And I question if anyone is actually ready for what's about to happen next. Because if we start to see Bitcoin break a new all-time high, and if we start to see Bitcoin dominance really kind of drop, that means that XRP is going to significantly break out. And I'm not just talking about going to its previous highs of $3.40. No, I'm talking about at least $5 plus on XRP, with highs potentially at $10 or more. Like I said, most people don't even think that that's possible this year. But guess what? Nobody thought it was possible that XRP was going to be trading at $3.40 back in January when, we were back here in October when XRP was trading at sub 50 cents. Things can happen very fast in this market. It's the number one reason why retail loves this market. It's the number one reason why we are in this market. Things move extremely fast. But on top of that, we're now starting to hear a lot of chatter from the space talking about how XRP could be mirroring this bullish pattern. Here we have from CoinDesk, which is typically anti-XRP. Market XRP is mirroring a bullish pattern to, last seen in Bitcoin before it surged to 100K plus. Price action has held firm between $2 and $2.60, defying downward momentum with a technical signal flashing signs of stabilization. Some traders believe this could mark the start of a major upside move. Now, here we have that MACD turned bearish in early March, which did signal that the price was going to drop and just kind of remain pretty boring. Now, the MACD kind of continues to flash red, but it's starting to cool off. This is at the same exact time that the weekly chart is showing price MACD divergence, while XRP is trading at $2.18, $2 and almost 20 cents. And now we're getting that boring sideways price action after having this significant wick to the downside. I do think that upside potential here is very significant on XRP, but I also think that's very significant on a lot of things in this market, including most of the altcoin market. Right now, Bitcoin is going to start to kind of get a little bit boring. Everyone's going to continue to call for 200,000, 300,000, this, that, whatever. All Bitcoin really needs to do is go to like 150K. 150K is totally fine as long as Bitcoin dominance is breaking down in a significant way, because that will lead to altcoins going absolutely crazy. Just for reference, Bitcoin barely moved in the last 7 days. It's actually up 2.48%. But the fact that dominance dropped a single percentage point caused altcoins to actually surge in the last 7 days. We're seeing some altcoins up 50+%, Pi's up about 16%. Some of these altcoins like Syrup were up about 20% earlier yesterday. So far, they're kind of cooling off a bit, but that's just 1 percentage point on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin moved about 2.5% in the last 7 days. This is why I said Bitcoin doesn't really have to go to $300,000 or $600,000 like some of these people are saying for altcoins to actually have that massive alt season. Now, on top of that, talking about the altcoin market, I did share in a video yesterday this post from Blockchain Backer, which was Coinbase versus the altcoin market. You were not bullish enough. This is just showing us altcoins really kind of lagging behind coin. And then he actually updated this with this one over here. Coin is taking out the December highs. You're still not bullish enough on your altcoins because, again, coin is retesting those December highs. And when we think about altcoins right now, 1.12 trillion, their December highs were about like 1.6 trillion. This would also lead XRP to retest its December highs at about roughly $3.40. We probably break out of it, go to $5 plus pretty quick. We teleport to it. But again, nobody's aware of this because nobody actually believes that it's going to happen. Just like when I made this post over here talking about that we're going much higher, yet almost everyone thinks that I'm just clickbaiting, that I'm engagement farming, that, oh, there's no way, this is just ridiculous. Like, this is the number one reason why retail will continue to fail in this space, because they don't actually see the signs of momentum forming behind the negative price action. But on top of that, we have been witnessing a lot of great news happening around XRP, which is also telling us that XRP is going to be a very strong altcoin this cycle. For an example, recently, XRP ledger 5.1 million transactions in 24 hours, no congestion, no downtime, sub-cent fees. XRP is in testing scale. It's already running the system. While others wait for adoption, the XRP ledger is doing the job in silence. This ledger was built for trillions. It's coming. And here we actually have the XRP ledger sets new all-time record, 5.1 million transactions in 24 hours. What happened? Well, it processed 5.1 million transactions in a single day, its highest ever. The surge was driven by real network activity with the DEX, NFTs, and the performance stayed strong. No congestion, no fee spikes, no delays. This is all through utility, low fees. Even at peak load, the fees stayed below a cent. So when we think about what's actually happening here, yeah, the XRP ledger and XRP are seeing a lot of momentum behind it. Even though we're trading at $2.18, a lot of people will say like, oh, we're still trading at $2.18. Look at this all-time chart. I mean, this is extremely bullish in my opinion, especially when you zoom out and you look at this. I mean, this is just consolidation right before one of the biggest legs up this cycle. And I really do think that it's going to catch a lot of people off guard, because they're not paying attention. They're not being bullish at all. They don't see any signs of bullishness. They just continue to hear about all of the negative things happening around the world, and you're starting to listen to all the fear-based headlines, and then all of a sudden, you're doubting everything. This is why I said that emotions tied to the space, it's probably one of the biggest mistakes that people make. But also on top of, the payments and the transactions on the XRP ledger, we also saw another big update. right? Which was Aeon and Ripple team up to bring XRP and ROUSD to real world payments. From retail stores to restaurants, stablecoin payments just got real online and offline across 20 million plus merchants, stable, secure, and ready for everyday use. And yeah, the Aeon community is actually, very significant with a lot of connections to some of the biggest merchants out there. So love to see this. I think that this is great, and they have been inking a lot of deals with some major industry players like even ICP, for an example. But I'm very excited about this. Again, this is more real world utility tied to, not just XRP, but also even ROUSD. So this is very exciting. Also, by the way, let's go back to my original post over here, which I did say ETFs, altcoin ETFs. Yeah, when we think about altcoin ETFs, we already know that XRP does have some ETFs behind it. Number one, we do have a futures ETF, and this is actually from CME Group. We have since launching on May 19th, XRP and micro XRP futures have shown demand across institutional and retail participants, highlighting interest in regulated tools to access one of the most watched crypto assets. This is very big because this is coming from CME Group. They have over 600 and almost 80,000 followers, and they're saying that this is one of the most watched crypto assets. This is putting a lot of attention on XRP right now from the institutional side of things, especially considering the fact that we do have some stats behind it. Since this launch 1 month ago, 24.6K plus contracts traded, $542.8 million plus in notional volume, and 45% volume from outside the US as well. This is very exciting. And we do have the spot futures as well, the spot quoted futures launching on the 30th of this month as well. I mean, listen, we're starting to see the ETF market opening up for XRP. And I do think that with all of the ETFs that we do have behind XRP right now, I think that that's also going to put a lot of pressure on the spot ones to get fully approved, and also even more players like BlackRock to file for an XRP ETF because they see all of the demand, they see the volume behind this, and they possibly see the value that they could also bring in and make off of these ETFs as well. On top of this, we also did get a big update because we do continue to see, of course, the XRP Ledger get upgraded. This is introducing XRP Ledger version 2.52.0. So this is also another big update. Shows us that the XRP Ledger is continuously getting major upgrades pushed, and we still see building happening around one of the oldest DLTs in this space since going all the way back to 2012. XRP is on a completely different level than most of these projects out there. And I do think that at a time where we see regulations really kind of getting pushed through, we're starting to see the market really kind of open up. And we're also witnessing some pretty big moves happening in the US for crypto to be embraced from the institutional side, the big banks, even around mortgages, things like that. I feel like right now the focus has to be on utility-based projects that are fully professional and fully compliant and actually have like real-world value tied to them. And also, don't forget tokenization. Tokenization and stablecoin use cases are surging right now. And also, by the way, what's crazy about that is if we go over here to rwa.xyz, we actually see that XRP Ledger's RWA value is now sitting at 160 million. This is actually up 37%. We have RWA holders here. We have stablecoin market cap up almost 31.37% exact. And we're seeing that step function here. It's not extremely significant, but it's still about $3 million that got added to the XRP Ledger. And if we look down here, we're starting to see that come online from the real estate game. This is all through Control Alt, and we have the towers here that you can see, all of the properties as well. There's over $1 million tied to this property, 818,000 here, 653,000, 408,000. We also see the T-bills. This is actually up slightly, nothing too crazy there. This one's up about 1%. This is up about, slightly 0.07%. But the main thing was, the real estate tokenization initiatives that are getting added to the XRP Ledger as well. And don't forget that we still have a lot of stablecoins to be added to this list, and even additional tokenization values as well to be added to this list. At the end of the day, within the next 30 days, we're probably going to start to see more and more value tied to the XRP Ledger through tokenization and stablecoins. I'm very excited about this. We're starting to see some significant growth across the board. And also when we really kind of look at networks as well, we could see that this is just an upward push. I mean, things are just going crazy around tokenization. And I think that this is just going to continue to really kind of be accelerated by some of the biggest players out there, especially as we do start to see the governments really of the world greenlight and accelerate tokenization and stablecoins as well. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.